very excited to be here today and to be able to do this session. This is a very personal topic for me. It's a topic which is very close to my heart because as a senior female leader, I actually had a burnout in my career. And that was because I wasn't taking care of myself so well. So ever since then, wellness has been a topic that I've been personally researching a lot, learning a lot about, and also from conversations with my friends, with my colleagues. I also see that it is a topic that we as women need to talk about more, especially us in leadership positions. So I'm very happy to be able to bring this topic to the table today with two of my favorite ladies. So I'm looking forward to a great conversation. So just before we start our house rules, as usual, so as you have already started doing, and thank you for that, please do write where you are from and your names in the chat. And also please do share your LinkedIn profiles. It's a great opportunity for us to connect with each other. If you do not want your name to be represented in the chat, because this is a recorded chat, so please do change your name. And we know that you will have a lot of questions during the event. We are a very interactive group and we are very proud of that. So please do put your questions into the chat as always. And Maria has kindly agreed to be our chat moderator for today. Thank you so much to Maria for doing this for us. And she will, of course, represent those questions at the Q&A portion of the event. And maybe just a few words about our community guidelines for those who may be new to us. Chatham House rules do not apply for this particular event because it is a public event and the recording will be made available in the EWOB member zone. So please be aware of that. So if you would rather your name not be used in the event recap, or will not be shared in our internal portal, please do send a message to European Women on Boards privately on Zoom now so that everyone is aware of your request. And then, as I mentioned above, it's a recorded event and the public messages will be sent in the chat. As always, we please kindly ask you not to promote your business or services in the chat as it is not allowed. However, of course, one of the primary purposes of us getting together is networking. So please do share your LinkedIn profiles. It is highly encouraged. And maybe also a little pitch for our WhatsApp groups for our members. They are going strong, our community chats. So of course, please feel free to be active there as well with your points of views. And of course, in this event, while we still may not be able to represent every single point of view, we would still love to hear everyone's unique experience in the chat section. So our agenda for today is 40 minutes of chat between myself. I will ask some questions to Elçin and Iris that I think hopefully that everyone would be curious about. And then we have 15 minutes of Q&A, which will be moderated by our chat moderator, Maria. Once again, thanks, Maria. And then finally, for those who signed up, there will be a 30-minute private networking session with Elçin and Iris. The EWOB members can sign up for this private session as part of their EWOB perks. Prospective members are also welcome, but you need to please message European Women on Boards privately on Zoom now to see if there are any available spaces. So if you're a prospective member, please do remember to that. And then basically, I guess we can start with our chat portion after getting those house rules out of the way. So like I said, two of my favorite ladies who have kindly agreed to be with us today. So let me start with Elçin. She's a certified nutritional health consultant and a raw food expert with a BA in psychology from Hunter College in the US. She's trained with renowned chefs in the US and Canada and has appeared on TV and radio programs. Elçin also runs detox programs at a retreat center in Büyükada, Istanbul, which is a beautiful place in case you haven't been. And she has authored a book on raw food. She offers self-education to corporations and focuses on lifestyle changes to prevent chronic diseases. Welcome, Elçin. Thank you so much for agreeing to be with us today. Great to have you with us. And then Iris Scheinfeld Tunçay is a multifaceted wellness expert. Which one should I start with? She has so many facets that I should talk about. She has a rich background in pedagogy, psychotherapy, and yoga. She initially served as a social worker in Austria, which is her home country, providing psychological support to children and families. Iris later moved to Turkey and introduced the Tomatis method, a specialized form of audio psychophonology therapy. She holds an international quantum coaching certificate and has been running her own firm, Listening Center, since 2003. Once again, welcome, Iris. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me in and for that great opportunity and organization. Thank you to all of you.
Perfect. So, ladies, as you can see, we have two powerhouse women who are going to give us a lot of wisdom about wellness. So, the first question that I want to start with, of course, what is well-being to you? Actually, maybe I can start with you with the definition of what we are talking about today.
My pleasure. Now, when we talk about well-being, really is what is it? What it is well-being not only physical but mental and spiritual. Everything brings us to that, and it should bring us to that. So, my teacher Brian Clement from Hippocrates in America, he says it doesn't matter really what you eat at the end. If you have a toxic thinking, that will also make you acidic as well. So, of course, let's say 60% is the food and what we eat, but the other is how you think, and then the rest is the exercise. So, çocuklar,
Great to have the kids joining us as well, Elçin.
I know. I came to see my nephews because I haven't seen them for such a long time. And, they were in Bodrum, so I wanted to come and see them. So I am connected to their house. Riyadh. I am not in the island. And sometimes we have bad connection in the island. So I wanted to make sure that I'm in the city.
Thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Of course. Now, it's like, especially, again, food, yes, it is important, but what we think and how we exercise, this makes the whole thing holistic. Like nowadays, you don't look at the people anymore, for the symptoms. Even the doctors are getting into this trend now. And before, like let's say 10, 15 years ago, we were the only ones, like, in New York, doctors were like very medicine oriented, but only the holistic people, holistic coaches and everything were doing this. But now doctors are catching up with us and they say, yes, it is important to eat vegan, clean food. And they came to a point that, as the bağırsaklar, intestines are the second brain, yeah. And all the hormones are actually getting produced there. So what you eat, is very important emotionally. If you eat bad, then if you eat sugar, then you will go up and down, and you will, hit the spikes, and you will not last very long. Like in the mornings as well. It used to be like caffeine, but even now the doctors are saying that the body has a natural energy booster, hormones and everything. Please use that in the morning. Do not get caffeine the first thing in the morning, 8, 9 a.m. Get them later on, at least like 11 o'clock, when you are out of your source. And and then you can maybe have one, and maybe in the afternoon before 5 o'clock, so that it doesn't disturb your sleep. Things are really changing every day. So there is no really one way or the other. There are some things, but at the same time, in my experience, I'm going to talk to you about my experience because I have been doing this for 14 years now. I have the detox center for some years, and I did detoxes for 14 years. And I work with the 40 and plus. Like most of the people who come to me are seniors. I mean, 40, 50, 60. So even like when I spend time with them for 4 days, we see the shining of the face, we see the energy boosting and all that, even 4 days when and the fresh air, lots of water, no food in the morning until 1 o'clock, only high chlorophyll, and then lunch, and then early dinners and the yoga and exercise. So when I talk about these things, I want to talk about really from my experience. Mostly, I'm not going to talk about like who says this. I'm not going to go into that because that is boring. But what I see with my clients over and over and over again, I see the same results. People shine, people's eyes getting brighter, and they have their energies. And I will talk about my disease and how I started this whole journey. So again, really, we have to make sure that we do the exercise for physical being and then the food for physical being, but then whatever works for you, the prayers, the gratitude stuff, and different disciplines, whatever works for your mental stuff, and then whatever also you have to have a routine. And I will talk about this type of routine later on, what we should be doing, more energy, more clarity, more.
Perfect. Thank you, Elçin. And it's great that you are underlining that this is all very holistic. So with that, I come to Iris. Iris, can you please tell us what well-being means for you? And maybe if it would be at all possible to come a bit closer to the screen so we can see your beautiful face.
Thank you. Well, better? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
much better. Thank you.
When you look into research, it's mostly about health, joy, and happiness, or feeling well about myself and others and my life and my work. But for me, it seems it's much more complex and there's much more into it. So I found my own definition, and I'm very grateful for this event because I found that definition for myself, for my well-being. I will tell it. It's a little bit long, but then we will break it into pieces and we will go quickly through it because I know we are limited time. So for me, it's being in a state. So it's being a state. It's not doing. It's being in a state where I feel safe and calm, but awake to sense physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs of mine and others, while following my life purpose and passions and being able to face and transform darkness and obstacles in our lives. So, sorry, it's long, but let's break it down. First of all, feeling safe, right? Feeling safe and calm. This is the basement for flourishing, for exploring your potential, for connecting with people. Feeling safe is the basement for being creative, being a good team player, being a good listener, being able to express yourself and your needs. So if you feel safe in a team, if you feel safe in a workplace, then you can really see that people are exploring their possibilities, and teams who feel safe, they are just much more cooperative. So it's up to leaders. How can I create a safe workplace? How can I make my employees feel safe at work? That's another whole topic. I will not go into it because we don't have the time. But feeling safe in a family, in social life, outside, at work, at home is the basic for well-being for me, because then it means I'm in a calm state. I'm calm, my nervous system is calm, but I'm very awake to be able to feel others, see others, and see what's going on inside and outside. So question is, how can I make myself feel more safe? And how can I make other people feel safe? And if you want to go deeper in these topics, there is Dr. Stephen Porges with polyvagal theory. He's amazing. He's just exploring this topic about safety in our life and how it is impacting our relationships and our workplace and our well-being and our health. So feeling safe and calm, but be awake to sense physical needs. So just like Elçin told, yes, if you are calm and if you are connected with your body, you will feel that you don't want a coffee in the morning, but you would feel that I want to have a juice, or I want just to have a lemon water, or I want to go for a run, or whatever you need in the morning to use that energy, like Elçin told, which is naturally available. So when you are connected to your body, you feel what you need. How much water do you need? How much sleep do I need? How much exercise do I need? I think I'm very always careful with generalizing. Everybody has to exercise 3 times a week, 20 minutes, bringing up your pulse to, I don't know, whatever. Or nutrition, this nutrition, that nutrition, gluten-free, vegan, or ketogenic, or whatever, or raw food. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I feel that every person is different, everyone's needs is different. So feeling and connecting with your body and feeling what your body is in need of. Is he in need of more sleep and resting and chilling? Or is he more in need of having harder exercise, working more physically, and choosing the right food? So if I connect with my body, feeling what my body is in need of physically. The next thing was sensing emotionally needs. Just like Elçin told, mentally, but emotionally also, we all have the need to connect. We are social beings. We want to be loved. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be appreciated. We want to be part of the team. The biggest, let's say, antagonist or the biggest problem in well-being is feeling alone, shame, guilt, kind of emotions we can hardly cope with, fear, anxiety. So emotional well-being and emotional needs is another thing. What I am in need of emotionally, and what are other people, my family, my co-workers, my boss, my whatever, is what are they in need of right now? What can I do for them? When I was having my clinic in Attila, I started every morning the team meeting with, what can I do for you? What are you in need of? How do you feel safe here? Do you feel appreciated? Do you feel that you can unfold your potential? So emotional needs and sensing my own and others people emotional needs is for me one of the key points. And we are not really very good with expressing emotions, feeling emotions, because there are emotions which may be scary and not very so pleasant for us. So we try to put them under the carpet. So feeling my emotional needs. Mental. All the root of our outer problems is in fact an internal problem. It's a mental problem. Emotional and mental problem. What do I mean with that? We have all this chatter going on in our minds, and calming our minds, focusing on the positive, controlling our minds, controlling our emotions is another key point for me for well-being. We have 2 parts of the mind. The one mind is the conscious mind. It's the desire, it's the goal, it's the intention, it's the where we want to go, where we want to be. But sometimes there is a gap in between where I want to go to and where I am here right now. And we try so hard and we just don't understand why can I not go there? Because in the unconscious mind, the second part of the mind, is full of childhood experience, is full of all the programming we got from ancestors, mothers, parents, siblings, teachers. So this unconscious mind and programming is against the conscious mind where we have good intentions. So I have a good intention exercising 3 times a week, but there is a mindset which holds me back. Or I have good intentions to be more kind and more loving kindness and better listener, but I have difficulties with this because I'm scared. I have social anxiety. I have problems connecting with people or speaking in front of people where I don't know, in public places, whatever. So the second thing is controlling our mind and do the inner work. You have to know what's holding me back. What's holding me back from reaching my goals? What's holding me back from getting into the discipline of exercising and having a good food and caring myself? What's holding me back from being more generous, less judgmental, more loving? What's holding me back from being able to receive also love and attention and good things? Sometimes we block them. So the inner work, doing the inner work. There is only one problem which exists in between our ears. David Robinson, what's his well-being guy, very, very famous. And the other one is, so let's go through the sentence and I will be quick. Emotional, mental, and spiritual needs. So spiritual needs is something which is also a layer of well-being, which is not really very talked much about. Thank you, Elçin, for also mentioning it. It's a really important thing, because as long as human beings are on this planet, it's a kind of personal need to believe in something bigger than what we are here, what we can see and hear and feel and touch, right? So ancient people in shamanism, people were praying to the sun, were praying to the moon, were praying to the rain, were praying to the tree, to the animal spirits or whatever, right? So there is a basic need of to feel safe, and having that, yeah, I'm safe on this planet, is connecting to something bigger than what is going on here on this planet. But unfortunately, religion sometimes pulls us away from these old healthy practices. There is lots of scientific research about the healing power of prayers, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be religion, it doesn't have to be prayer. You can do Reiki, you can do energy work, whatever feels right for you. But opening your mind and thinking out of the box. And this goes together with life purpose, right? Finding your life purpose and your passion. Why am I here? Why am I suffering? And so this is the next point. Having the ability and being able to face and transform darkness and obstacles. Because in sometimes spirituality, it's be happy, don't worry, all these things, focus on the good things, which is easily said, but it's not easily done, right? Because there is, in this life here, there is sadness, there is loss, there is illness, there is difficulties, there is financial problems, there is feeling of loneliness, of not feeling acknowledged, not feeling loved, feeling overwhelmed, having a burnout, just like Zeynep told, right? So there is an energy of, let's say, darkness. I mean, even darkness teaches us something. I don't want to go there deeper right now, but being able to face the darkness and putting the light onto your own shadows, it's again our inner work. If we feel depleted and overwhelmed, and if we always have, especially if we have a pattern in work life or in family life, everything, all the time, the same thing is happening. I changed job, I changed this, I changed that, I changed my partner, I changed it, but the same things are turning around and coming back and turning around. So when I discover some emotional patterns, then there is definitely time to do the inner work to break it down. Because if you work out from your inner motivation with passion, because you believe it, you trust it, you love it, then it's almost impossible to be burnout or to be overwhelmed. The motivation has to be from inside. Yes. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening. My long description of that.
Thank you. I love your definition. I think there's so much richness in it. Thank you so much, Iris. And I want to thank Olivia for starting the questions. She has one for you already, which I'm going to ask immediately. What is the name of the author you recommended in the beginning of your answer?
Richard
Could
Davidson.
you repeat the name?
Richard Davidson.
Davidson. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Olivia. And with that, I also want to remind everyone, please do your questions.
Sorry.
Yes. Yes,
In the book
that's the
about the
one.
polyvagal theory, that's Dr. Stephen Porges. He is the leader on how to make people feel safe in workplace and family life and private life.
Okay.
Doctor,
Can you maybe tell us the last name so that we understand, Stephen?
should I write it in the chat?
If you could put it in the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you. And with that, I want to remind everyone, please do put your questions in the chat because we will be coming to them shortly. While Iris is putting that in the chat, Elçin, can I please come back to you?
Yes.
So we are talking to a big group of power women here. They are in leadership positions. They manage, in some cases, families, big teams, etc. So there's a lot of stress in their lives and usually time stress as well. So for these professional leader women, mostly women, I don't think we have men today, if there are also men. For this group, what specific dietary recommendations do you have, especially for senior professionals to support their physical and mental well-being? So I know that you are very much for raw food, detox, this kind of lifestyle. How can this actually increase the mental clarity that we were talking about earlier and focus? And if there are any examples that you can share with us, that would be very welcome.
Yes. Well, what I said before also, I started with that. For me, green juice, like starting the day with some lemon water or some water with the vinegar. I use this like a apple cider vinegar. That's very important. You put like a 1 tablespoon in a glass every day, or 30 days. Sometimes you switch to the sea salt, again 1 tablespoon in a 1 liter jar, and you just like drink that every day. You just like hydrate the system. That's very important. That's very important for the clarity. That's very important for the health in the cells, actually. Very, very important for the, and the mood swings. Very important that you get enough hydration for the mood swings as well. But for me, I think this is also very important, that when it comes to food, it is important that they do like a test, a blood test or saliva test, anything that they can do, like every 3 months, every 4 months. Where am I? Where am I? How am I doing? It's not like your friend Aisha told you that you should get some magnesium because that's the popular thing to take, or a B12 or whatever. But it is important that you do your test and you have to put whatever is missing. It can be water, it can be lots of things, some vitamins, some minerals. I do that and I love it. I give it to my also clients. And I ask before they come also, kind of, if you have like a blood test lasts 4 or 5 months, it's important. So let's look at you, because it's like a terrain that we have. We have this terrain, and it's a terrain basically, if you look at it in our intestines, or terrain if you look at our cells, but we're a big terrain. So whatever you put in it, it will either poison you, or it will what do you call, either poison you, or it will
make you alive, make
yes,
you more active.
It will energize you, it will complement you. So I don't care, I tell to people, what you do. I don't care if you do a bad thing once a month or even once a week. What is important is to do it every day. Every day. Every day you do the good thing. Like whatever is missing, you just like alternate. Like one day you wake up and you start with your lemon water, and then you do your sea salt water, but you alternate. But you always give whatever the body needs. That's very important. And I have a little trick if they want to try also. I mean, I can answer that also later on as well. But now that I'm talking about this, I'm going to say it one more time. I learned this in America, and I practiced this last 10 years. That helps me too. Of course, blood test is blood test, but I take these vitamins in front of me and standing still, take them. It's called kinesiology. You just like see how you feel. If the body goes front, my body goes front, and then I need it. And if the body goes back, I don't need it. This is a little something that I know it sounds like a little weird, but if we are all made out of energy, right? It makes sense to me that everything has an energy. So see how that energy synchronizes with you. It is better, of course, to see the blood test, but then I check it sometimes with my body testing as well. And I really like it. It works. Sometimes they look at me as a crazy woman in a pharmacy. Would you like to do that? Would you like to buy this? I say, I just turn my back and I just do my check. And I said, no, thank you. I don't need this right now. You know, they say, oh my God, she must be crazy. But there are some little tools as well, you know. And but there are some things that the body, again, we have to put it back. The good salt is very important. And again, for the mental clarity, is sleeping is very important. To sleep in a dark room is very important. To go for a nice sleep, like for the growth hormone between 11 to 2 a.m. is very important. I will talk about my illness. I ruined my system in my 30s, partying a lot in New York and not sleeping. New York never sleeps. So we were kind of like, you know, we were following that motto in New York with my husband. He was a musician. So I hospitalized for lack of sleep. So when I wrote about lack of sleep, or when I talk about these things, I really experienced it myself. So I know what it is. So when people come to me and they say, oh, Miss Elçin, how would you know about this? And how would you know about that? I say, you would be surprised. I can see that you didn't read my book, you know. I was hospitalized. I know what does it mean, have a blurry mind when you didn't sleep well. And I know what does it mean. You take the caffeine, you go up and down and up like a roller coaster. I know what does it mean to go and to rush for the sugar to get your 10 minutes energy, which is like that, basically. It doesn't last more than 20 minutes. So, but when it comes to, again, food, you have to understand also what are you intolerant to. So some people, like many people in Turkey, I have friends who work in the laboratory in Istanbul, famous laboratories, and I ask them, what is Turkish people's problem? For example, here is lots of bread, lots of sugar, lots of processed sugar, and lots of cheese. Like no country eats cheese like us, you know, even the French, because we start the day with the cheese. So when you think about the intestines, all these like inside, there are some hairs, right? And little receptors, and those things have to be clean. Your pipe has to be clean. You cannot give cheese in the morning to your system. No, no, no. I mean, and you cannot give bread to your system. So you have the maya, right? Yeast, bread and cheese. And then you have the gluten on the other side. And then you want the energy. You want to have the sharp brain when you are working at the office. No way. No way you will get that. No way. You know, you will get it when you are young, but when you get older, you will get sluggish, very sluggish. And that's our problem. We get sluggish. We get out of energy. I mean, the difference between the child and us, I think the biggest difference that I am very jealous of is the energy. You know, we are just lacking energy. We don't have it anymore. We used to dance until the morning and go to work without sleep. And now impossible. I mean, we are out of it. So what is important is really to keep the high electrons, and mitochondria has to be really fully charged. So for that, you just look at yourself like a truffle. I mean, if you really get good sleep and good exercise and these type of my teacher used to tell me, basically my teacher used to tell me, Brian Clement, he used to come and walk around the table. He has been doing this business for 75 years in America. Hippocrates, very, very big institute for health. And basically what he used to say, and you can also, people can read all these things in China Study. The name of the book is China Study. It's nothing to do with the China. It's a bunch of famous doctors, in America wrote this book. It's like an encyclopedia, the best nutrition book so far that written, China Study. I recommend everybody. So you really understand all the things that you do right, you're doing wrong. But
thank you. Thank you, Elçin.
You just start from somewhere and then you just build from there. But he used to say to us, when he basically came to the table, what we are eating when we were in school in America, in the nutrition school, and he used to say, garbage, garbage, garbage. We are like, no bread here. There is no meat. There is none of these things. What is garbage for you? He says, the best food here, the sprouted vegetables, the mung beans and all those things sprouted, and soaked nuts, and lots of chlorophyll. This is, he used to say, I call it food. The other stuff is you're eating for your emotions. No food here. You don't need this here. So, I don't know if I had enough.
Thank you, Elçin. Love your passion about nutrition, and I think the message that you are giving to us is avoiding some of the stuff that's not good for us, like dairy, like sugar, and like processed foods, and relying on vegetables for most of our energy. And love the tip about the juice in the morning, juice before coffee. So Iris, I'm going to come to you now. Like I asked with Elçin, are there any mindfulness techniques that you think could be practical that we can embed it into our lives to start making some of these lifestyle changes that we're talking about? Any pointers or any tips or exercises for us?
Well, yeah. First of all, I wanted to add something very little, how the mind and the body and emotions is connected. I did a juicing week and I started with celery juice in the morning with quite a big half-liter. And the next day I had an emotional outburst. I was crying. I didn't know why, but I was crying. So the cleansing of the body and the cells and the digestive system is where the body holds emotions. And when we cleanse our body, our emotions and are get also cleaned out, and then we can also change the way, and when we feel better we think better and positively, right? So in fact there is two main things. We always want the short fix, right, and the quick fix, but when we think about well-being and overall all the studies, yes, exercising, yes, sleep, yes, food, and all these things and very important thing is having healthy relationships. And for having healthy relationships, there is no quick fix. You have to go and do the work for yourself. For 1 year, see a specialist, look at yourself. What am I doing? What's holding me back from having fulfilled relationships, feeling safe, feeling appreciated, feeling valued, feeling joyful with other people, right? So there is no quick fix. But controlling the mind, which will help you also to control your emotions. Definitely there are mindfulness exercises which they really don't need time. I always hear I have no time for meditation. You don't have to sit 15 minutes in a quiet place to meditate where you are not getting disturbed, where you have fresh air and the healthy surrounding. I know that it's not possible for you, right? So, and it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, it's the optimum. If you can start in the morning your day with a 15-minute practice of meditation, whatever kind of meditation, there are different, very different ways of meditation. And in the evening, before going to bed, you will have a very quick response to your well-being, to your way of thinking, to your way of feeling, and for mental clarity. But if you don't have the time, and in fact, sometimes I believe meditation say it's not possible for me to meditate, right? Because the tricky thing with meditation is if you sit down and if you get quiet, and if you turn inside, everything what's piled up there, imagine there is a garbage inside, just like you put the garbage in your intestines, you cleanse it with detoxing. You have also an emotional garbage inside. You have piled up lots of pain and sorrow and sadness and grief, which has not been expressed. So when we sit and get silent, the tricky thing of meditation is that these things will come up, and we have the tendency to avoid these emotions, right? So that's why, no, I don't have time. I should leave right now. No, I open my eyes. Oh, there is noise. We really try always. We have in our system the program. We try to avoid negative feelings, and it's a dilemma. On the other hand, our brain is focused always on threats and danger. So the problem with positive thinking is that our brain is wired to detect every single moment, wherever I go, is there any danger or am I safe, right? So that's the dilemma of human being, right? So the brain is trained on focus on negative things. If your boss tells you 10 things, which you have done so well, but he tells you one tiny little thing, which maybe could be better, I'm sure you will remember that one tiny little thing and not the 9 good things, because we are trained to focus on the bad things. So training your mind, but the good thing is well-being, mindfulness can be learned. It's a skill you can learn. It has nothing to do with genes or whatever. It's the environment, it's effort, and what you can do. So the quickest things is what I can do is to settle. It's all about the regulation of the nervous system. When you calm your nervous system, you get a clear mind, you get a loving kindness heart, and you can just focus much better. So regulating the nervous system, if you're full of anxiety, the first thing is, if you're even in the car, you can do humming. Humming, and even in crowded places. So when you are in a shopping mall, just humming stimulates our vagus nervous system, which helps us to suppress stress hormones and calm yourself down. And this can be done anywhere, wherever you are. Quick fix, humming. Second thing is sit and smile. Smile for 1 minute. Smiling is such a healthy habit, and fake it till you make it. Because the brain doesn't really know whether you are really happy or not, because whenever you smile, it releases happiness hormones and it calms you down. Right? And research has shown that happiness research, so when do we feel happy? Men feel happy when they just win suddenly the lottery, $5,000 or whatever, sudden money coming in. They feel they have a rush of endorphins and happiness hormones. And women have it with chocolate. But they figured out, long-term research, when someone smiles to you from their heart, really deeply from their heart, it releases 100 times more happiness hormones than any chocolate or $5,000. Right? Mm-hmm. So smiling. And if sometimes I was sitting here and waiting for starting the presentation or the meeting, I was sitting and smiling. Do nothing, even 1 minute, and you will feel the benefit of it. If you have 2 minutes before you go into a meeting, gratitude, list of gratitude, writing a gratitude journal, just what Elçin told also at the beginning. Writing. Anything, writing from inside out. Write how you feel. How does my body feel? What's going on in my emotions? what's going on in my mind. So whatever comes from inside out has a healing part and doesn't need really lots of time. There is the thing of free writing. Now it's very modern. Everybody wakes up in the morning and they sit down and they write 3 pages, A4 pages, whatever comes. This will be a long-term healing and long-term health. Breathing, so body scan, just reconnecting with your body and focusing. Maybe let's do one exercise because I have no time, right? Do I have 1 minute for one exercise?
1 minute for one exercise. That's it.
So if you just want to join me, if you don't want to close your eyes, some people don't feel safe to close their eyes. That's totally fine. You take a pencil in front of you, or you take a glass in front of you, and you eye gazing, you just keep your eyes on that place and you don't move your eyes. Eye gazing is another thing. 1 minute, it will calm your nervous system. But I wanted to bring you deeper. I want to connect you with your body. So just close your eyes and find a spot in your body which makes you feel safe, which makes you feel calm and safe. And stay with that region in your body. Explore it. Dive into that state in your body. And you keep that attention there. Your mind wants you to take that out of there, wandering. Come back. Again and again, come back to that state. And if you can hold it for 1 minute, that's already a big deal. An easy breathing exercise is breathe into your spine. Breathe up and down your spine. So you know, inhale and exhale even longer than your inhalation. And nose breathing. Another quick fix for balancing the nervous. Yeah. Thank you. Everybody is in existence. Thank you. Can you feel it?
Thank you. Everybody looks so much more relaxed now. Beautiful. Thank you, Iris. I wish we had so much more time that we could listen to you ladies for longer, but we do have questions coming in the chat. So with your permission, I'd love to go to Maria. Maria, I know there's a lot of interaction in the chat. Could you please tell us some of the questions and also with the name of the person who asked the question?
Yes, of course. I think the first question is on the inner work. So I think, and I can relate to this as well, what do we mean by inner work? Just to make it a bit more palpable or more, that we can fully grasp. So the question says, what do you mean by inner work? This is something that I hear so much, but I can never fully grasp. Is it being honest with yourself? Is it practicing self-discipline?
And the question comes from whom, Maria?
The
Sorry.
question is from Kagla.
Kala, okay.
That right, yes.
Yeah, you said.
Super.
Thank you, Iris. I think this one's for you.
Yeah, okay. Well, yes, inner work, what does it mean? Now, let me explain. There is one sentence. The only way out is in, going inside. So whatever we live in the outer world, in relationships or in work, whatever we live as difficulties, some patterns like I don't feel appreciated, I never get where I want to go to, or in relationships, I don't feel loved, I don't feel seen, I don't feel respected. So whatever we live, or the feeling of I'm tired, I'm burned out, I don't know how to do it, I can't catch up with it, that feeling of stress and being nervous and anxiety or about the future or whatever it is on an emotional state that is bothering you and giving you difficulties is only a reflection into the present moment, rooted in your childhood. So you know that feeling of, I don't know what to do. You know that feeling, I'm so tired, I have no energy anymore. You know that feeling, I'm not respected, I'm not seen, I'm not heard, or you know that feeling, I have to work much harder than anyone else, right? So there are things what we bring into the present moment in workplace, in family life, in social life, whatever it is. It's rooted in our first 7 years. In the first 6, 7 years, our mind state is in a programming state. It's like a PC. It's for 6 years. It's programming and downloading everything. And even in yourself, we have ancestors. So if you have always problem, for example, money comes in, but it never stays. It never goes immediately, right? You can even go track it back to ancestors. We have 7 generations back, their experiences, their lives, their emotions are affecting us today now. Then we have prenatal life, which is affecting us, our mindset, our anxiety, our state of nervous system of our mom is programming our nervous system. Birth itself is a whole thing, which is impacting our well-being and how we stay in life. Do we feel safe? Do we feel our needs are always, we get the answer to our needs? Do we feel, yeah, it's nice to be here? Or do we feel anxious and not safe and not trusting anyone? Do you feel alone? Do you feel, I belong here, yes, to this family, to this work, to this company, to this community? Or do you feel alone even if you're in community? And these are things we bring into the present moment, but their roots are in our childhood. So doing the inner work is, why am I thinking like this? Why am I acting like this? Why am I feeling like this? Where is it coming from? And that's the biggest key to freedom. Step into your power, take the obstacles out of your way, and you can embrace life and do whatever you do with less effort and more joy.
Thank you, Iris. That's beautiful. Maria, another question?
I think we have one more. Yeah, this was raised by Natalie. And it says, when aligned to passion, it requires time. What do you recommend for period during which there is a significant time required on both professional and personal? So, for example, sickness of a spouse, return from maternity leave, personal sickness, and so on.
I think, yeah, this is for you as well, Iris, I think.
Yeah, just I would like, can you give me a summary?
So how to, I guess, some advice on when you have to find your passion, but you also have to split the time in both your professional and your personal life just as much or just as equal.
Yeah, I see. Well, I think I found another definition of well-being is being totally present in the moment with a strong awareness of what's going on inside and outside of me without judging myself or others. So I think the answer to this question is being in the moment. When I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm at home and I have difficulties with my spouse or with anything else, then I will face these difficulties and I will be there. It's a place of opening space for everything what is and not running away, because that makes us, in fact, it's bordering us, not suppressing emotions. They make us ill, suppressing emotions. So it's being in the present moment with whatever is here right now. And that needs training our mind. Does it answer the question?
I think so. It was a question from Natalie, right?
Natalie, yes, correct.
Maybe if we can hear from Natalie, if the question's been answered correctly.
Yes, hello. No, thanks for the answer. And indeed, no, I think being in the moment makes a lot of sense. I'm also just looking for solutions when actually we are really missing time, and whether it's professionally or personally, how can we find ways to continue to live our passion while at the same time, our passion on both sides. Personally, one solution that I have found is to do a job share. and to launch job share. But I'm just interested to see what are other, good solutions. And I think your point in terms of very important to live the moment. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Perfect. I think we have time for one more question. Sorry. Do we have something else on the chat?
Yes, I think one that was next was regarding menopause. So I don't know if we can maybe briefly touch on that as well. So I think the question was, what can women experiencing menopause or perimenopause do to live a comfortable life personally and in the workplace?
Should I?
Yes.
Yes, please go for it, Elçin.
Okay.
Thank you.
As a woman who is in menopause, I can tell my experience with that and with the clients that I have been working with over the years, all these years. Menopause, it's a really cultural thing as well. Some cultures, it's normal, right? Some cultures, women become basically unseen or something. And I think life begins at menopause. That's what I feel. I mean, I think the sex life, every kind of life starts after 50. People say in America after 40, but no, after 50 even. As long as your mindset is not limiting, but it's more like embracing, and you know who you are, you know what you want, you don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. Hopefully you kind of do what you like, hopefully, and hopefully you are kind of, if you're happy with the first one, you are with the first one, but if you are not happy, then you go for the second round and the third round, whatever makes you happy. And I think as a woman, if you are basically eating the right things, you just have to say, I am premenopausal now, I am menopausal now, so I cannot take anything for granted anymore. So those walks have to be done every day, and maybe jumping rope, maybe bringing your basically hormones up, lots of different food like lentils and basically lots of ketantomo, what do you call flaxseed. These type of things are natural hormones, and you can also have some bioidentical hormones. Everything nowadays, bioidentical hormones are very, very up now. I have been taking bioidentical hormones for 5 years now, and it really helps with my skin. It really helps. I feel good about it, and lots of people they take, and I'm not talking about synthetic ones, but the natural ones. But you can also take, as I say, a lot of good stuff, but you cannot go and eat the regular breads anymore, but kind of like you can have your bread or crackers from the flaxseed crackers. Then you can hit the 2 birds with 1 stone, or you can hit 2 apples with 1 stone. Let's not kill the animals here. But you can basically, dance, and again, romantically, you can get into new relationship. But ladies, nothing is limiting you. I swear, no limit with this menopause thing. And it's just about the cultural thing. But as long as you do your exercise, you find your passion, and you found the love you're looking for, whatever, and it really, it gets better and better. And I just want to give my hero, my role model, Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is almost 85, and she's rocking.
Elçin, on that note, I think it's a perfect moment to end, because we are at the end of our time. I think what you said about let's not let anything limit us is the perfect moment to end this conversation. Thank you so much. I think, you know, you ladies are such a wealth of inspiration that I wish we could stay for longer. But I think people have started to leave. They have other commitments. Maybe just before everyone leaves, first of all, I want to really thank both Elçin and Iris for your time and for all the wisdom you have shared with us. It was beautiful to host you, and thank you so much for supporting
Thank you for
EWOB.
the safe holding, safe space that you hold, and fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, ladies, if you would be so kind as to turn on your cameras so that we can take a photo before we all go. This will be a good memory to have from today. So whoever
what
can turn
with the camera? I'm sorry.
You're okay, Elçin. Whoever has their cameras off, if you would want to turn them on, we want to just take a photo and with a nice memory of today. Wow, people in such nice locations. It's so good to see you out and about. Perfect. Thank you. So can you please let me know when it's done, Chala?
It's done.
It's done. Okay. Thank you so much. For those staying behind for the chat with Elçin and Iris, we're going to be for another half an hour, I believe. For the rest, thank you for attending. And once again, to Iris and Elçin, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom today.
Thank you.
Have a good night or good evening, wherever you are.
Thank you.
Elçin, Iris, we're staying behind on this call.
Goodbye to the ones.
Thank you.